Let's go to Emma in Welcome to Miami. What's up, Emma?
Hi, Dr. John.
How we doing?
I'm doing okay.
Oh, so not good at all? Not good at all, huh?
A little bad.
Okay, so fill me in. I'm sorry. What's going on?
Well, I overheard my husband's friends and him making fun of me.
Oh, man. What about?
Well, first of all, we're newlyweds. After our honeymoon, my husband and his friends were having a group video call. I chatted with them for a bit, and then I excused myself to go for a walk. Then I made the biggest mistake of my life. I forgot something and turned back to get it. But everyone had thought that I'd left. His friends had started to ask him about our honeymoon and started poking fun at him. Eventually, one of his friends asked him if my looks were still a problem for him. He told her he loved me and that we had a great honeymoon and that...
Hold on. He told her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. I don't want to interrupt you. Continue.
Yeah, it was a group of them. So he told her that, I'm beautiful on the inside, despite, him liking lighter skinned, slimmer girls.
Mm-hmm.
He told them that we can't have it all, She insisted on asking him if he felt like he had downgraded from his ex.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, who was, light-skinned and slim. And he said, maybe.
Oh,
but
gosh.
He said that, but I make him happy. And another one of his friends, I'm not sure if she was trying to help, said that maybe it would help a lot if I had lost some weight. I'm not morbidly obese or maybe a little chubby. but right now, nothing feels the same anymore. And I've been ruminating, wishing that I didn't turn back.
Hold on. Hey, Emma, you did not make the biggest mistake of your life. Okay? You didn't. And I'm heartbroken that this is how you ended up with this info. But you didn't make a mistake. You didn't screw up anything here. Okay? You, my friend, are not at fault here. Okay? Now, I'm not saying you're perfect, and I'm not saying you're not doing right, you know what I'm saying? But you didn't screw this up. Okay? You're allowed to walk into your own home that you share with your husband. And golly, I'm just like, my stomach's dropped. Like, I can't imagine the hurt you're feeling right now. So how long ago was this?
5 weeks ago.
And so here's a couple of, so he's not here. Okay. And I've got all kinds of thoughts and all kinds of things running through my head, but he's not here. So the only person I can talk to right now is you. Is that cool?
Mm-hmm.
So it would be easy for me to join you in piling up on him, but this call is about you and your wellness, okay? And so my first question to you is, have you told him?
I haven't. I feel embarrassed for turning back and listening as well, and he would feel bad about it, I guess.
He should. You don't need to protect him. He's a grown man. If he's going to be telling his friends, and a bunch of women that, I had to go with JV here when it comes to the looks department. Then he can be a grown man and look you in the eye. See what I'm saying? You didn't screw up. You don't need to defend him. He's clearly okay with having conversations about you and your body out to the public. The only person he's not having them with is you, right?
Yeah, but how? It wouldn't change anything because that's how he truly feels.
Right. And so the
And
next
I
question
can't change certain of my characteristics or what society calls physical attractiveness. I can lose weight, but there are other things that I just cannot change about myself.
Emma. Oh, man. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Here's the challenge you find yourself in, okay? He's not telling you the truth about how he feels about you. And you're not telling him the truth about what you know. And what's going to happen in short order, if it hasn't happened already, is that within your home, you live with a threat now. And you're going to create a special safe cocoon that only you live in. And he's not going to know what it is. He's just going to know that his wife is distant from him. And then he's going to be about solving that distance with any number of ways. If he's a person of character, he will continually try to reach out to appeal to your heart and say, why is there distance between us? And if you don't tell him, you're choosing to respond to his lack of character with dishonesty. Or he might choose to be a scumbag and approach that, or try to solve that distance between the two of you by going back to these other women that he has on his video chats and tell them whatever and try to create connections with them. Okay? But the reality is there's a huge gap in your marriage. And no, having the conversation isn't going to solve how he feels. Who cares? This isn't about society. And this, quite honestly, isn't about the people on the chat. This is about your husband. And this is about you. And this is about your marriage. And right now, you don't feel safe in your own home. You don't feel safe in your own skin. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't live moving forward with this ambiguity.
But can he really love me if I'm not attractive?
So when here's the challenge. You heard part of a conversation that sounds awful, and I would love to talk to him on the phone one day. Man, I'd love to have this dude on the show. I'd like to talk to this dude in private, quite honestly. Not in a like macho kind of way, but I'd like to have a conversation with this dude. Bonehead. But here's reality. Here's reality. As mad as I am, and as sensitive of a topic as this, you heard a part of a conversation. And you have created an entire narrative around the part of the conversation you have without going to him and saying, hey, this is what I heard. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So, My wife did not marry Brad Pitt. Close, but she didn't. Right? And I imagine, I know there are, because she has told me that I look feral sometimes. Well, that is true. When I get in hunting season, I don't always bathe and shave and shower. Anyway, so there are seasons when, right? And then there's times that she says, man, when you're dressed up she said the worst part about my new job is that when I was working at universities, I wore a suit and tie every day. And she's like, dude, you look good. Like, you look real good. And now you just wear t-shirts and you kind of look like a slob. Right? So here's what I'm telling you. I'm trying to lighten our conversation a little bit. But yes, She might have a perfect picture in her head of a professional basketball player who's 6'6" and has great calves and super great muscle. I'm not that guy. But she'll also tell you that she thinks I'm handsome and she thinks I'm really good looking, right? That's less of the issue to me. The bigger issue to me is a deep violation of trust that your husband did not talk to you and has not been honest with you. And either that, or when he's trying to be the cool guy with his friends who are bagging on you and he doesn't come to your defense. Or maybe he felt like he was coming to your defense by saying, yeah, you know what? She doesn't look perfect, but I love her. And he doesn't understand how much that hurts you. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't understand the existential tailspin that you are in because you married a man that does not believe you are beautiful. And nobody, I don't care who you are, nobody wants to be married to someone who doesn't believe they're beautiful. Inside and out, right?
Yeah.
So I think, here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to avoid this conversation and wake up in 5 years and still believe that you're married to a guy that doesn't find you beautiful. And it's less about him. It's more about you don't feel beautiful in his presence. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's different than
friends.
What does he think? Or yeah, exactly. How embarrassing is that? And just, oh God, I don't want to talk bad about your husband, but what an idiot. Good grief, man. And here's the other side. I also think it's important for men to have guy friends that they can sit down and have hard truth conversations with, right? Because I don't want a generation of men who grow up living in silence and then just end up sitting in a recliner cracking a beer every night just to get through the day. They got to have people that they talk about hard things with. But those things that they talk about with their friends have got to, especially when it talks about their wife and their wife's body or their girlfriends and their sexuality, man, there's got to be some consensus about what's cool to talk about and what's not, and where I am and where I'm not. Unfortunately, you've probably heard me say this if you listen to this show, not by your hand, but in your lap. You didn't ask for this, and you walked in your home, which you do not have to apologize for, and you heard your husband talking in a public space in your home that you do not have to apologize for, and you re-entered a conversation you were just in before you went out for your walk. You just talked to these two-faced people who are like, oh, hi, great to see you. Oh my gosh, how are you still, right? You had no fault in this, zero. And I'll say fault, but I don't really mean it. The only fault you've had now, and I don't want to say fault because I think you're processing trauma is what's happening. You're processing really heaviness. The only fault here is that you haven't sitting down and said, I heard this, and this hurt me in this way. And so what I would tell you is don't let your husband's failures here rob you of your character and of your beauty and of your strength. Okay? You're worth being loved and you're worth being believed you are beautiful. I don't care what society says. That stuff's nonsense, man. It's nonsense. And it may be that your husband is just a sweet, loving guy who's an absolute boneheaded moron. And there's a lot of men who are like, young men who are like that and need to be taught. He may be an absolute character-free idiot. And your life would be better if you made some hard decisions. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just threw a lot at you. Tell me where you are.
Well, if we were dating, I know I would have left him.
Okay. What's the best move? What's the best move for Emma to make Emma feel safe, make Emma feel loved, to let Emma know that she is beautiful? What's the next step?
I guess to accept this and move on.
Emma, have you listened to anything? Oh, we're not accepting this and
No.
listen, we're not accepting this and moving on. Okay? Are you in an abusive relationship? Are you safe?
No. Yeah, I am.
Okay. If you hadn't have heard this conversation, would you think he loves you deeply?
I would.
Okay.
I really would.
Is he worth a conversation?
I would want to think so.
Are you worth that conversation?
Yes.
Okay. Do you promise me you will confront this head on directly?
I will.
Here's what I want you to do before you have that meeting. I want you to write down what you heard.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to write down how you feel. Because what he's going to say is this. No, you are not a supermodel, but I married you. I gave you my everything. I love you. Our sex life is good. Our honeymoon was great. I love you. Everything about what I'm demonstrating here says I love you. And that's when you're going to start feeling crazy. And so I want you to have already written down so you can read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you told a group of people that I wasn't beautiful. And now I will, for the rest of my life, wonder, does my husband wish he was with somebody else? You told a group of women before because they were checking back in, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. It would seem as if
they've had
have
this
these
conversation before.
conversations.
Yes. You regularly had conversations with other men and women about not being attracted to me or about my body not being enough. I need you to understand what that did to my insides, to who I look in the mirror and see now. Because now you became just another faceless person in society who judges me because my skin's too dark, who judges me because I don't fit in a size fill in the blank, who judges me because, and you were supposed to be my safe place. That's why we got married. You were my safe place and I was yours, and you're not safe anymore. You're just like one of them. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I want him to hear that. And in every marriage, there has to be space. There's been times when my wife sat down and said, hey, physical fitness, John, is a big deal to you in your mental health. And if you don't exercise, you don't think clearly. And if you're not exercising and eating right, you're not okay. Mm-hmm. And I've noticed, like, you're having to wear XL shirts now. Like, you've put on a lot of weight. Mm-hmm. I'm worried about you. Big picture, right? With my wife, we've had that conversation, and I gave her permission to have that conversation with me. But that's different than I ain't attracted to you because you're too big. You see what I'm saying? There's a very big difference. And so I don't want people to listen to this and say, oh, so you're not ever. No, you're allowed to have hard conversations. You have to have hard conversations, right? Or I'm struggling with attraction right now, and here's why. But that conversation goes directly to you in a spirit of love and connection, not a spirit of blame and judgment. And especially doesn't go to all my buddies first. And by the way, guys, listen to this. Nobody needs to know what happened on your freaking honeymoon. Shut up. That's yours. Good grief. Keep something sacred, for crying out loud, you idiots. Jeez Louise. I got the greatest guy friends on planet Earth. The greatest guys on planet. They know everything about me. You know what they don't know? What happened on my honeymoon. Because that's mine. That's me and my wife, right? Good grief. This is ridiculous. All I have to say, I'm starting to get mad again. I want you to write that stuff out, and I want you to let him know, hey, we need to have a hard conversation, okay? And here's the thing. Emma, if you don't want to be married to him anymore, or you need some space from him, you need to be honest with him about that conversation. Okay?
Okay.
If you want to stay married to him, but you don't know how just yet, I want you to be honest about that conversation. Like you told me, if you were dating, this is over. I'd be out of here. But I said for better or worse, and we're going to have to figure this out. Unless this is past or worse. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You may need a girlfriend to sit with you and walk you through this. Not walk you through it, but sit there with you while you do this, okay? But this conversation is really important. And then what happens next is really important, okay?
Okay.
I'll ask you one more time. Do you believe you're worth this conversation?
I am.
Do you believe him that you deserve a safe place?
I do.
Okay. I'm so sorry this happened to you. Do you believe you have none, no fault in walking into your own home?
99%.
Emma, 0. Got it? Got it?
Yeah, 0.
Okay. I will tell you this. The spirit of the person I'm talking to is stunning. Okay?
Thank you.
Stunning. And nobody gets another judgment on you. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
You're on my team now.
God.
Cool?
Thank you.
All right. Do me this huge favor. Let me know when you've had this conversation. Write us back. Let us know how it goes. And if he wants to be on the show, if you both want to be on the show about what next, I'd love to have you back. And if he doesn't, cool. Before I let you go, I have to be honest about this. You may have this conversation. He may say, "You're right. I made a mistake. We shouldn't have got married." That could happen. It'll be devastating and hard. And if that happens, know that walking into that room and hearing that conversation was the greatest thing that ever happened to you, because you shed yourself of this idiot. And you will find someone who believes in you and who believes that you're beautiful and thanks God every day that they found you. That person exists. Those people exist, not just one person, like a needle in a haystack. There's bajillions of people. And if you have this hard conversation and he gets down on both knees and says, "I screwed up bad. Here's what I meant. I didn't defend you well. I screwed it up because I was a coward and I'm going to do better." And let me tell you, I've been there. I wish I could say things differently. And I've had to say I screwed this up and I was a coward and I was a wimp and I fill in the blank here. I want to be better. I've done that in my marriage several times. And this may be a moment of clarification for your marriage moving forward. He will never, ever talk to those knuckleheads on Zoom call or in person again. Those relationships are over because you're not going to be a part of those people's lives. And since y'all are one now, he's not either. And on and on and on. But this conversation comes with a risk. Either way, you are better on the other end of it. I'm heartbroken for you. And we'll be walking alongside you on this one. Thank you so much for being brave, and thank you for the call, Emma.